गुड इवनिंग फ्रेंड्स एंड आई होप कि जो पार्ट 1 वीडियो था MCO-01 का यू वुड हैव वॉच दैट एंड दैट वीडियो द क्वेश्चंस दैट वी डिस्कस्ड would have helped you a lot in your preparation and I was talking about 20 most important questions of MCO-01 which you must revise and in the first video we discussed about the first 10 top questions and again in this video we'll be discussing the next 10 most important questions of organizational theory and behavior. So the 11th question, that is from Neoclassical theory, and basically this theory gave more importance to the human welfare. I mean the psychological and social aspect of human beings and workers were given more importance in this theory. So like before this, classical theory was there which gave more focus on the enterprise, the stakeholders, but this theory gave more importance to this thing. You have to keep this in mind when you explain the points. Okay, so you must learn these important features of this theory. The first one is flat structure. Flat structure, that means the structure of the organization is flat, decentralized. The second one comes decentralization. Decentralization, that means the power is not concentrated at the topmost management. It is distributed among the different managers, supervisors and executives. So it is decentralized. Basically this form is more suitable for large organizations, but it's hard to follow decentralization structure or in a small organization. But this flat structure, that means centralization structure, maybe it is applicable for this small organizations. And one more feature of this theory is informal organization, because इस थ्योरी में ज़्यादातर वर्कर्स का वेलफेयर है. तो वर्कर्स लोग हैप्पी कब होगा, जब उनको सोसाइटी अच्छी मिलेगी, कलीग्स अच्छे मिलेंगे, वर्किंग कंडीशंस अच्छा मिलेगा, वेजेस सैलरी अच्छी मिलेगी, देन ओनली दे कैन बी मेड हैप्पी. तो इनफॉर्मल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इसका एक इम्पॉर्टेंट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है नियो क्लासिकल थ्योरी. एंड नियो क्लासिकल थ्योरी में आपको याद रखना है about the Hawthorne experiment. Basically ये जो experiment which was done by Hawthorne, तो it focuses on the better working conditions and better leadership qualities. जो leader है, he should have a democratic style of leadership and he should take into account the welfare of the employees. So these are few important points which you can describe. आगे चलते हैं क्वेश्चन नंबर 12. And question number 12 had different types of work group and what are the different stages in the formation of a work group and the factors that should be taken into account. ये आपको करना है क्वेश्चन. What is a work group? State the different types of work group. The different types of work group and stages in the formation of work group. And इसके अंदर एक और आपको ऐड करना है, that is factors. What factors that influence the formation of work group? हम लोग जानते हैं कि whenever we do work we like to do in a group. अगर बड़ा काम है तो obviously we need a group of workers, a team of workers. So for that generally ये वर्क ग्रुप को हम लोग दो टाइप में डिवाइड कर सकते हैं. One is formal. We can divide this work group into two types. One is formal work group, the other is informal. इनफॉर्मल ठीक है. इनफॉर्मल में योर फ्रेंड्स, कलीग्स एंड इंटरेस्ट ग्रुप्स. Some of you may not be knowing about interest groups. I tell you, I explain. इंटरेस्ट ग्रुप्स जहाँ पे जो ग्रुप मेंबर्स हैं उनके इंटरेस्ट एक जैसे होने चाहिए. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल उनके बिहेवियर मैच करते हैं, देन ओनली दे मेक अ ग्रुप. जैसे मान लो कि जो वर्क ग्रुप है उसके अंदर से कई सारे मतलब जो मेंबर हैं, अगर एक मेंबर को क्रिकेट अच्छा लगता है तो ऑब्वियसली द अदर मेंबर ऑल्सो लाइक टू वॉच क्रिकेट मैचेस. सो लाइक दिस, सो दे आर कॉल्ड इंटरेस्ट ग्रुप्स. एंड जो फॉर्मल ग्रुप है दैट इज बेसिकली क्रिएटेड बाय द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, एंड दिस फॉर्मल ग्रुप हैव ए डेफिनेट ऑब्जेक्ट. दे आर गिवन अ गोल, a task to be achieved in a particular period of time. And this type of groups can be command group, it can be committee. You might have seen ke Chandrayaan mein committee bani thi of scientists. It can be a team, so like that. And when we talk about the stages ek work group ke, like how you will prepare the work group, what are the different stages in the preparation of work group. So basically 5 stages hai. The first one is forming. Now here the group starts to form, different members are combined together, they joined hands together with one another and they try to form a work group. The second one is storming. Now as the name implies, यहाँ पे कोई storms नहीं आने वाला है, but एक तरीके का स्टॉर्मिंग होता है, कंपटीशन होता है वर्क ग्रुप मेंबर्स के अंदर कि हु विल बी द लीडर ऑफ द ग्रुप. सो दैट्स व्हाई इट्स नेम कम्स स्टॉर्मिंग. देन वी हैव द नेक्स्ट स्टेज, नॉर्मिंग. नाउ एज द वर्ड implies, norming, that means here the group functions normally. The leader of the group has been selected by the group members and they start working normally to achieve the goal. Then performing. Now here the real performance starts to flow. All the group members, they try hard to complete the work and they show their performance in doing the job. And last one, adjourning. Adjourning means the group here comes to an end. The task is completed, the project is completed. Now the group members, they will go back to their respective departments and here the group ends. So this is how it happens. And why these factors, what factors led to the formation of work groups? There are some factors, like the first one can be economic factors. Due to these economic factors, workers, they form group. Maybe like किसी को अगर financial assistance की ज़रूरत पड़ती है तो he can ask from his colleague. So due to this economic factors, the other is security. Because we are human beings, social animals, and we like to live secured. We always like to live in a society where we feel secured. Our family is secured and we are also secured. So due to security region also we form groups. There are some social reasons due to which we form group. Because we live in a society, we make friends, we have relatives, so we are always one. So we need a group. This is our actually psychological need also. And then we have cultural. Due to our culture, a particular culture or a religion, you might have seen they often form a group. Like the Hindus, the Muslims, the Christians, they generally like to live in a group. So this is the question you should prepare for the exam. The next question, number 13. Now here you should learn this. What are the different steps? Steps in the organization process, and what are the contemporary issues in the organization. So this question also comes quite a lot of times in the exam, very common question. Now when we are organizing, when we are forming an organization, so what are the different steps we follow? So basically 5 steps are there in this organization process. The the first step is, determining the objectives. First, you will determine what to do. What is your object? What is your aim? What is the task that you are going to achieve? Okay, so that is called determining the objectives of the organization or the task. And then you will do grouping. Grouping of activities, grouping of 4 M's: man, money, material, machinery. You will arrange, you will integrate, you will coordinate all the resources together so that you can achieve the objectives. Then you will assign duties. You will allocate the duties to different individuals working in the organization. Okay, so this is called assignment of duties. Here, like authority, responsibility, that is established. All the relationships between the managers, employees, supervisors, so they are all established properly and everybody knows what to do. And lastly, now this is relationship. You will establish the relationship. Just now I told you about this. And lastly, you will do integration. Integration of all the above factors. So when you combine all this, you get integration. You will combine, you will join all the activities, you will coordinate as a manager all the activities of different things. Now, there are few issues in the organization. What are these issues? Basically, these are applicable to the modern organization also. Now, few issues which I can highlight here. The first one, impact of technology. Now, as we know, this technology always keeps on changing, my dear friends. Every day, every week, every month, technology changes. So this has a very big effect on the performance. How many times you will change the machine? This is the issue. How many times? So that is one of the very biggest challenge for an organization. Then we have impact of organization design. As we know, every organization follow a certain structure, either divisional or functional or flat. So sometimes it changes. How many times again it will change? Because it's a long-term planning about the structure. So this has an impact on the organization. There are issues related to the strategies. If the strategies are not framed properly, then that will make an issue in the organization, and in fact that will also affect the performance of the employees. Maybe like impact of competitors. If the competitors are very strong enough, they can create problems for the organization. Okay, so this is also one of the challenge. There can be impact of culture, which is called cross-cultural issues. Different people from different cultural background, they work together in an office. So it's very difficult to manage them, their activities. They have different languages, different accents. So that creates a problem. Okay. And sometimes, there are impacts on the mobility of labor. People, they transfer from, one place to another by the organization. And that, that creates their, maybe like they maybe hesitate, and that change, that is called resistance to change. So that change can hamper the employees' performance. So these are this was the 13th question. And the next one, question number 14. Question number 14 that you should revise is the different types of organizational structure and also their dimensions. So types of organization structure, just now I told you about this, plus, because you are getting 20 marks question, so maybe this is 10 marks, the other dimensions of organization. So these two questions can be combined together for 20 marks. And in the different types of structure, I tell you there are 3 types. The first one is functional structure. Now functional structure is basically this structure is framed on the basis of different functions like production, purchasing, marketing, finance, HR. So for every functions there are separate departments, separate sections, and every department has a head which looks after the performance of that particular department. So this is functional. The second one is divisional. Now here again the organization is divided into different divisions, and these divisions are located in different areas, and each division is again headed by a manager or supervisor or executive. And one more structure is there, that is called adaptive structure. Now again adaptive structure can be of two types. One is matrix and the other is project. So altogether we have, there can be 5 types. Adaptive, basically it's a mixture of both functional and divisional, and the workers can report to more than one manager. In matrix, it's very complex structure, this adaptive. And project is simple, like the structure is formed for a particular project, and when the project is finished, the structure dissolves. Okay, then comes dimension, and in dimensions you must remember these 3 type of dimensions. The first one is formalization. The second one is centralization. Just note down these points and start to learn. And the last one, complex. Now formalization, basically you can say it as centralization. The dimension means length and breadth of an organization. What is the size of the organization? That can be understood by the dimension of the organization, in simple words. So formalization, centralization, small structure for small organizations. This is called centralized. Formalization is decentralization, big company, big structure, lot of employees are working there, so that is formalization. And complex, basically it's a mixture of formalization and centralization. So this is what you have to expand in your answer. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I will write it here. This is question number 15. Okay, question number 15 is from attitude, and how to develop, like what are the different processes of forming attitude and how to develop a value-based organization. As we know, attitude is what? Like the way that we think about a person, a place, an object. So that is called our attitude. Now what is your attitude about the exam? Whenever you meet a person, you frame an attitude. You frame a impression about that person. So that is called your attitude, and it can be positive, it can be negative. So that depends. So process of formation of attitude, of forming attitude. So what are the processes? Just let me brief you up. The first one is by association. When you meet a person, when you visit a place, when you see an object, you frame an attitude. So like for example, when you go to the vegetable market and see that the conditions of the vegetable is not good, so you frame an attitude, negative, unfavorable attitude. And so that is attitude, that is formed due to association. The second one by observation. Sometimes we generally like to observe, we do observe. So by observation also we see the person working, and we frame an we make an attitude about that person. So that is by observation. Then there is a third process, that is culture. Our culture also frames attitude. We have an attitude, if suppose we are Hindus, we have an attitude towards the different religions. I mean Muslims, Christians, Jainis, Marwadis, so different castes are there. So it also depends on your culture, because every religion have different cultures, and accordingly we frame an attitude. Then we have experience. Now this is the most important one, last one. By experience, the attitude that we frame is the most important, because we practically feel the feeling, the emotion of that person, and we frame an attitude personally that is more long lasting in our mind. So this is about attitude, and we can develop how to develop you can combine these two questions here. How to develop a value based organization, value based, where values are given more importance. You will hardly find in this modern world. There are very few organizations. So basically, to develop values in the organization, you need to have trust on your employees. This is the first criteria to develop a value based organization. The second one is teamwork. The organization just cannot do all sorts of things alone. It has to work as a team. And thirdly, leadership. There should be good leader, cooperative, not very authoritative leader, and he should work as a team. He should continuously motivate his subordinates to do well. So like this. Question number 16 is from stress. You must revise this chapter every year. Some question comes from stress, this topic. You must learn from here the different consequences of stress. You know, stress is not at all good, but in this modern world we do have stress, more or less. And how can we manage the stress, or how can an organization manage the stress among the employees? Now the consequences can be, physiological. Few points here for this, I write it here. Physiological, that means the stress can have a bad effect on our health. We may feel, hypertensed, high BP, sugar, heart problems. So there are a lot of things. So you can write there in this physiological things. Then we have some psychological effect. Psychological effect, where we are more tensed, and we generally, we feel tired very quickly. So lot of problems are there psychologically. You have to focus your answer on the psychology, the psychological effect of the stress. And then there are some changes in the behavior. Some behavioral changes are there due to, we become very short tempered. Sometimes we easily get angry without any reasons. So there is a change in behavior of human beings or workers due to stress. Then some organizational, now this is understood. Organizational consequences understood, because if the employees are stressed, they will not be able to perform properly in the organization, which can result in the less productivity, and the organization performance will decline. Now, how can we manage this stress? So there are few techniques of managing stress. In your syllabus, I think 2 techniques are given, individual techniques and organizational techniques. So I have combined both the techniques together and have written here a few important points you can note down. Physical techniques, where we can do lot of exercises, jogging, swimming. So that can, reduce our psychological and physiological stress. Then we have some psychological processes to reduce stress. Basically, this is, you can reduce this by doing meditation, yoga. So you can explain here about this. The third thing is social. We have to be more and more social. You should attend the marriage party, birthday parties. So when we arrange a get together and meet the people, our friends, so a lot of stress is reduced. The fourth is by making the job more enriched. I told you about enrichment in my previous video of MCO-01, and the organization or the leader or the manager can do counseling of the employees to reduce the stress. This is also one organizational technique to reduce stress. Even due to leadership quality also, they can reduce stress. They can use democratic or laissez-faire style where the employees are more comfortable with that. And one more thing the company can do, that is right placement of the employees. Right selection and placement of employees can also help to reduce stress among the employees. Okay, let's move on to question number 17. And from here you should do theories of motivation. Theories of motivation. This is again a very important chapter of MCO-01. And you can combine one more question from here: how to motivate the employees, or how employees can be motivated by an organization. This question is also very common, very important. How to motivate the employees. So you must remember this. Now basically there are a lot of theories of motivation, but I would suggest you to follow this Maslow's theory of need hierarchy. Second one, Hertzberg's two-factor theory. Sometimes the difference asked between Maslow and Hertzberg, similarities and differences both. So very important one. And you can also learn about this ERG theory, that is existence related and growth theory. This is also important. And fourth theory, that is McClelland theory of motivation. So you can learn these four important theories. Simple theories are there. So this one you can get it in your exam. And to motivate the employees to work hard, what steps an organization can take? The first one is give them money, financial assistance, simple way. This is the most important and easy technique for the management. So give them a good salary, good wages. The organization can do job redesigning, because some employees are different, so they believe in job redesigning. So when we redesign the job, make the job more enrichment, more interesting, the employees will work. One more very important, that is workers' participation. Participation. So when the employees are allowed to participate in the decision making process along with the management, so they feel very motivated. So that is also the company can do. One more, that is appraisal. Recognize their work, give them recognition, status, they will work more. Definitely, this is also very simple. One more technique, that is MBO. So this technique is also very popular, and so these are few important points that you should learn for the exam. Question number 18. Question number 18 is on job designing and importance of job designing. We have done job redesigning, and this is job designing. Why it is important, and what are the factors? What are the factors that affect job designing, and the different models of job designing. Now among this model is very important. Okay, importance we can write, no problem. Factors like goals, task accomplishment, employee response, task clarity, and task identity. So all these factors you can write down here. And about the different models. Now this model is very important. When we talk about the model, the first model is task characteristic. According to the task, we design the job. Different task, like the different different types of task, they demand different type of job designing. So this task characteristic, that is one important. You have job characteristic. What are the characteristics of the job that the employee has to do? Accordingly, you do the job designing. So the third model of job designing can be social. According to the social relationship of the employees and how they can be made more happier and productive. So on the basis of social structure also, we can make the job designing. One more model is there, that is called contingent model, where according to the time and situation we do the job designing, because it is very flexible process, so we can change this as and when required. So contingent model can work best in the modern organization. And one more model we can apply, that is employee development model. Employee development, basically the main object of this model is to develop the employees, their skills, their career, like that. So these are few important models of job designing which is very important for your exams. Let's move on to question number 19. Now in question number 19, it is on types of leadership, different leadership styles. So leadership styles, very important one, and in fact it should be known to you also as a commerce student. And you can also learn the different qualities of a good leader. Sometimes it comes in the short question, and the different functions of a leader. So this is from leadership, so we can write. Now leadership, I talked many times about this. There are three types. One is autocratic, the other is democratic, and laissez-faire. In autocratic, the leader is very strict. That is called authoritative leader. He likes to give orders. He is a stunt follower of discipline. In democratic, the leader is very friendly. He looks after the problems of the employees. And in laissez-faire, he is very, very free. And I mean, he is completely free. So all the employees, they do whatever they like. And basically that third leadership style is not at all good for an organization. Qualities, I think not much problem for you. You can write in your own words also. It's not a big job. About the functions, I should highlight this function. Functions of a leader. The first one, it should develop a team, a good team. This is the main important function of a good leader. Because if the leader unable to prepare a good team, that means he won't be able to, complete the job successfully. The second one is counseling. He should counsel his subordinates whenever they need his help. Basically, at the time of stress or while while solving the problems of the job or task. So during that time, he can act as a guide for the employee. The third one is, motivation. He should always motivate his subordinates to work hard to give the best. This is simple one. And fourth one is appraisal. He should always appraise his employees so that they feel more motivated to work hard. And lastly, he should value time management, and he should also ask his subordinates to maintain time schedule. So these are few important functions of a good leader. And here we comes to the last top question of MCO-01. From here, This is from change, organization change. We know everything, the age is changing, everything is changing. The organization should also make changes according to the time and situation. So from here, you should understand what are the different forces of change. ये change के कौन कौन से forces हैं, and the different types of change in an organization, and resistance, how to overcoming resistance. ये बहुत important है. Resistance के ऊपर हमेशा क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में आता है, तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू शुड रिवाइज दिस प्रॉपर्ली. एंड फोर्सेस में फ्रेंड्स, इंटरनल एंड एक्सटर्नल दो फोर्सेस होते हैं चेंज के. एक तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर और एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के बाहर. सो देयर कैन बी टू टाइप्स ऑफ चेंजेस. एंड एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में बेसिकली जो चेंज होते हैं, अगेन इसको दो टाइप में हम डिवाइड कर सकते हैं. एक तो होता है कि चेंज change in the organization, and change in the individual. So ये दो टाइप के चेंज होते हैं, बेसिकली टू टाइप्स ऑफ चेंजेस. एंड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द चेंजेस इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, तो कौन कौन से चेंजेस कर सकती है कंपनी? अपने रूल्स चेंज कर सकती है, स्ट्रैटेजीज चेंज कर सकती है, प्रोसीड्योर चेंज कर सकती है, डिपार्टमेंट्स चेंज कर सकती है कंपनी, देन टीम चेंज कर सकती है. तो ये बेसिकली तीन टाइप के ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल चेंजेस हैं. सम इंडिविजुअल चेंजेस आर देयर, जैसे कि दिस आर ऑल रेसिस्टेंस टू चेंज. सो यहाँ पे इंडिविजुअल्स में पीपल आर हैबिचुएटेड टू वर्क इन एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, बिकॉज आई हैव सीन दैट लॉट ऑफ पीपल के वो जहाँ पे ऑफिस में काम करते हैं, अगर उनको दूसरी उनकी सीटिंग अरेंजमेंट चेंज कर दें तो दे डोंट लाइक, they will resist the change. So they frame a habit. जब मान लो एम्प्लॉय का टाइम चेंज कर दिया हम लोग, वर्किंग टाइम, तो वो भी they resist. Some security रीजन के लिए चेंजेस करना नहीं चाहते हैं, they resist to change. Due to some financial security also, the employee do not want to change. And due to some social factors, because ऑफिस में जब एक जगह पे सारे काम करते हैं, तो अगर एम्प्लॉयज़ के अंदर अच्छी दोस्ती हो गई है, एक दूसरे को अगर सेपरेट कर दें तो दे विल रेसिस्ट. ओके, नाउ हाउ कैन वी ओवरकम द रेसिस्टेंस ऑफ दिस चेंज? ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, इसको बहुत अच्छे से आपको करना है. जो पहला जो तरीका है ये रेसिस्टेंस को रोकने का, दैट इज एजुकेशन. एडुकेट द एम्प्लॉयज़ के दिस चेंज इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज नेसेसरी and it is also necessary for them. तो उनको समझाएं, education by workshop, by such programs, तो company can educate them. Second one is communication. Now this communication will come from the leader. Leader को समझाना चाहिए employees को कि yes, this change is necessary and this is also good for you. So this communication should be there from the leader. Workers can be allowed to participate. This is called participation, where the workers are requested to participate in the decision making process, where they feel कि yes, हमें भी पूछा जा रहा है. तो that feeling comes within the workers, so that will also help them to overcome the change. And lastly, coercion. ये टेक्निक बहुत ख़राब है. यहाँ पे ज़बरदस्ती चेंज करवाते हैं, मतलब मनवाते हैं एम्प्लॉयज़ से कि येस यू हैव टू चेंज, अदरवाइज यू विल लूज द जॉब. सो लाइक दिस. सो फ्रेंड्स, दीज आर इम्पॉर्टेंट 20 इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस, जिसको करने के बाद आई डोंट थिंक कि MCO-01 में आपको कोई फेल कर सकता है. दैट इज़ 100%. संतोष सर 100% गारंटी. जस्ट रिवाइज दिस 20 क्वेश्चंस, you will get more than good marks. So thank you very much for watching this video, and a very best of luck for the exam.